Cellular respiration. By Samantha, Rachel, Maggie, and Scarlett.
Do you like waffles? Yeah, we like waffles!
The first step in cellular respiration takes place in the cytoplasm. This first step is called glycolysis. Glycolysis begins with the breakdown of glucose. Glucose can be obtained by eating foods such as waffles. The first step is the addition of a phosphate group to 2-ADP to create 2-ATP. The following is an organic molecule known as pyruvate. 2-pyruvate is created, and lastly, 2-NAD is converted into 2-NADH. The next step is the conversion of NAD+ into NADH and carbon dioxide. After this, the oxidation of pyruvate occurs, creating 2-acetyl coenzyme A. This is then used in the next step, known as the Krebs cycle. The final products are the conversion of 1-glucose into 2-pyruvate and the conversion of 2-pyruvate into 2-acetyl-CoA.
It's getting harder and harder to breathe.
Fermentation occurs when there is an absence of oxygen. There are two types, known as lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation is when pyruvate is converted to lactic acid or lactate. Alcoholic fermentation is when pyruvate is converted to ethanol and carbon dioxide is released. The next step takes place in the mitochondrial matrix and is known as the Krebs cycle. Acetyl-CoA combines with a 4-carbon molecule forming a 6-carbon molecule. This is then broken down into a 5-carbon molecule by releasing carbon dioxide and converting NAD to NADH. The 5C molecule is then broken down into a 4C molecule by the same process. This then converts GDP and ADP into GTP and ATP. It then also converts FAD to FADH2. Water is added to the 4-carbon molecule. Lastly, the 4C molecule converts NAD to NADH, and this completes the Krebs cycle. After the Krebs cycle comes the electron transport chain. The chain takes place in the inner mitochondrial membrane. The membrane is composed of a phospholipid bilayer. This is 2 layers of lipids that create the inner membrane.
The electron transfer chain happens in the inner mitochondrial matrix. The electron carriers, which are FAD and NAD, drop off hydrogen ions and electrons. The electrons then proceed to the membrane proteins where they are moved through the membrane. The hydrogen ions travel up to the intermembrane space, creating the hydrogen ion gradient. They then move through the last membrane protein known as ATP synthase, since the high concentration move to lower concentrations.
This creates ATP, and then oxygen combines with the hydrogen ions to form water.
Everything all rolled into one.
The final products of glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain, which make up cellular respiration, are as follows. For glycolysis, 2-pyruvate, 2-NADH, and 2-ATP. The end products for the Krebs cycle are 2-ATP, 8-NADH, and 2-FADH2. The cycle is repeated twice. The end products for the electron transport chain are water, 34 ATP, NAD, and FAD.